Good evening, everyone. I'm Ankit, and you're watching Indian Express Analysis, which goes live every day at 4 p.m. on StudyIQ IS English channel. Today is 6th of June, and we are going to discuss important news and articles from the Indian Express newspaper. We'll start off our today's discussion by yesterday's article, which was left out due to lack of time, that is Finance Commission. And why are we discussing Finance Commission today? Because 16th Finance Commission, it is in process of meeting with all the relevant stakeholders, that is state governments, union government, and then it will decide on the formula based on which the money which is collected in tax by central government, it will be shared between central as well as different state governments. So this is a constitutional body formed as per Article 280 of the Constitution, and we are going to discuss in detail how this Finance Commission functions. And before concluding our this first article, we'll also try to solve two PYQs that have appeared in the exam recently. Now this is relevant from GS paper 2 syllabus because it is a constitutional body, therefore the direct paper relevant here is GS paper 2. In the second article, we'll be understanding about the disease known as polio. Although polio has been eradicated in India, but polio is still prevalent in many countries. So what is the polio virus, how it affects humans, what are its various type of vaccines that are available, all we are going to discuss today, and this is relevant from GS paper 3 syllabus, right? Because it is a part of science and technology. In the third article, we'll be covering a big article given in the explained section about the hydrology of Brahmaputra. Why are we discussing hydrology of Brahmaputra? Because Pakistan, one of the Pakistani official, they made a snide remark that you have stopped Indus River water flowing into Pakistan. What if China does the same to you by stopping flow of Brahmaputra river into India? So we'll try to understand, is it theoretically possible from Chinese side to stop water of Brahmaputra flowing into India, and if they do so, will it impact India negatively or not? All of this we are going to discuss in great detail in our third article. This is something relevant from GS paper 1 perspective, that is from geography part of the syllabus, because it deals with one of the more important rivers in the India, that is Brahmaputra river. In the fourth article, we'll understand India's first attempt to make itself an indigenous polar research vehicle. What is a polar research vehicle? What will be the significance of this development, and how does India cater to the need of its existing polar research purposes, right? So this will be the subject of today's discussion. This is also relevant from GS paper 3 perspective, mostly from science and tech perspective. And in the last article, we'll be covering about Economic Advisory Council of the Prime Minister, as the new chairperson of the EAC-PM has been appointed. So what is EAC-PM? Who are all the members of EAC-PM, and what are the functions of this body? All of this we are going to discuss, and this is also relevant from economy syllabus, that is GS paper 3, right? Mini, Kanchan, Bishwajit, Rishi, Yashi, Augustine, Shushmita, Sipra, Geeta, Reshma, all of you, good evening. Yes, I am able to see you now. Are you able to listen to me? Is the voice clear? Now the notes for this session, as usual, they will be available on my Telegram channel. This is called as ATS Live. So what you need to do, go to Telegram app. On the top right hand corner, there is a search button, right? Click on that and enter the words ATS Live. You'll find the channel. And if for some reason, if you're still not able to find the channel now, this is the QR code. Scan it directly like you do for QR payments. This will take you to the channel. Subscribe it if you still haven't, and download the notes which will be available after the session end. Okay, we'll start our today's discussion with this first article that was from yesterday's newspaper. It appeared in page 21 yesterday, and it says that majority of states want the tax revenue share with central government hiked to 50%, and this is the comment made by the chairperson of 16th Finance Commission, who is also the former chairperson or vice chairman of Niti Aayog, Mr. Arvind Pangaria, right? So in this regard, let us understand the context. In his statement, this Finance Commission, 16th Finance Commission Chairman, Mr. Arvind Pangaria, has said that majority of 28 states in Indian Union, they've asked the Finance Commission to increase the tax revenue which is distributed between central government and state government. Earlier in the 15th Finance Commission, the 15th Finance Commission ordered the central government to devolute 41% of its tax revenue with the state government. Now the state governments are demanding that instead of 41%, please share 50% of our total revenues with us. So this is the demand that has been put forward or put forth to the Finance Commission of India. Now, the chairperson of the 16th Finance Commission is on his official visit to the capital city of Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, and here about the Uttar Pradesh's key demand, Mr. Pangaria said that the state of Uttar Pradesh has proposed certain changes to the devolution formula. So what is the devolution formula? What was the devolution formula in the last two Finance Commission recommendations, that is 14th and 15th? All of this I am going to tell you in our today's discussion, right? First, let us understand few details about the body itself, that is Finance Commission. Finance Commission, it is established directly as per the provisions of Article 280. So when a body derives its power directly from the apex law of the land, that is Constitution, that makes this body a constitutional body. Had it been deriving its power from a statute passed by Indian Parliament, that would have been called by, or that had been called a statutory body, but this is a constitutional body. But what you need to understand about this body, this is not a permanent body, rather this is set up every time by the president every 5th year generally, or if the time allows sometimes even before 5 years, but it is a temporary body, it is not a permanent body like Niti Aayog, etc., right? But the status of this body is quite high. It is a constitutional body deriving directly its power from the Constitution. Now, the people who are included in the Finance Commission, it includes a person who is called as a chairperson and 4 other members who are appointed by President of India, and the tenure in which they serve into Finance Commission, that is also decided by the President of India at the time when they issue an order for their appointment, right? Now, the chairman and other members, they are also eligible for further reappointment. The former governor of RBI, who is also the current principal secretary in PMO, Dr. Shaktikanta Das, before being appointed as the RBI governor, he was the member of 15th Finance Commission. So technically, members of Finance Commission, they are eligible to be reappointed in any government office after they serve in the office also, right? Now, the Constitution, it authorizes the Parliament to determine the qualifications of the members who will be appointed into Finance Commission, and accordingly, the Indian Parliament has passed Finance Commission Act of 1951, which specifies the qualification for chairperson as well as members. This act says that the chairperson will be the person who has experience in public affairs, whereas other 4 members, one of this member has to be a judge of High Court or at least qualified to be appointed as the judge of High Court. Similarly, another member has to be the one who has specialized knowledge in finance and accounts of the government. Another person has to have a wide experience in financial matters and matters of administration. And the 4th member needs to have a specialized knowledge in the field of economics, right? So this is the condition laid out not in the Constitution but in an act passed by the Indian Parliament, because Constitution devolves this power to the Parliament. Constitution says I am not fixing the requirement or qualification, but Parliament can pass a law and determine the qualification. Constitution just says Finance Commission will consist of a chairperson and 4 other members, and they are to be appointed by President of India. Understood the difference? Now let us understand what Finance Commission actually does, right? Finance Commission, always, all the time you'll hear the words Finance Commission, but karta kya hai Finance Commission, right? So let us understand that. The most important part of Finance Commission, the most important responsibility of the Finance Commission is distribution of net proceeds of taxes which will be shared between central state government and the central government and allocated between the states of the respective shares of such proceeds, right? So here what is important is the word net proceeds. What is the net proceeds of taxes? Anyone can tell me? Sorry? What is the net proceeds of taxes? Can anyone let me know? Yes, Dhakkan Babu, namaste. Well, net proceeds of taxes is the total tax collected by union government, right? Minus the cost that is incurred by the union government to collect all these taxes, right? So to recover taxes, government employs a large income tax department. Those have to be provided with salary, chai pani ka kharcha, etc., right? So all of this is a cost incurred by the government in collection of the taxes. So net proceeds of the taxes is the total tax collected by the government minus the cost. And who certifies what will be the net proceed of taxes? This is certified by Comptroller and Auditor General of India, right? Yes, Dakkan Babu, correct. Now another part I told you, this also distribution of net proceeds of taxes which will be shared between central and states, right? So it says that this taxes will be shared between central government to state government, and this is called as vertical devolution, right? Because the money is being transferred from central government to state government, and you understand various state governments are also receiving the money from central government, and they also have to be distributed the money among themselves. So this is called as horizontal devolution, right? So when money is being shared between central and state government, that is called as vertical devolution, and when money is distributed among the state governments, that is called as horizontal distribution. Understand why vertical and why horizontal? Any doubts? So this is the most important part, and for this sharing of taxes between the states, this Finance Commission says or fixes a devolution formula, right? Based on this formula, the money is distributed among the various states. Some states receive more tax amount of money, some states receive less tax amount of money, and the formula that has been fixed in past 2 times by Finance Commission of India, you can see from this image, right? So you can see in the 14th Finance Commission, it recommended distribution of taxes based on 4 different criteria: income distance, forest ecology, area, and population. And in 14th Finance Commission, population for 17.5% of weightage was given to 1971 population, and 10% of weightage was given to population of 2011. Whereas population for 15th Finance Commission solely was a population of 2011 figures. Right, and in 15th Finance Commission, there were 6 criteria: population, area, forest, income, distance, demography, and tax efforts. I have created a very simple mnemonic which you can remember to understand the formula based on 15th Finance Commission. It is Pakistan Air Force, PAF, and India destroyed them. So PAF IDT is the mnemonic that you need to remember for the formula of 15th Finance Commission. 16th Finance Commission have still not come up with the formula. They are in a process of deciding the formula. So whenever they will come up with the formula, I will update you in our that day's session, right? So I hope you will remember this abbreviation: Pakistani Air Force, India destroyed them. I actually created this mnemonic much before Operation Sindoor, at the time when I was preparing for the exam, right? I hope you will not forget this mnemonic now. Any doubts? No, right? So this is the formula that the Finance Commission says. Now, one word here, what is important is income distance. What is income distance? Suppose I belong from one state, and that state must be having some kind of a per capita income, right? So I decide my state's per capita income, and then I compare my state's per capita income with the per capita income of the best performing state in the country. So higher is the distance between the best state and my state, the larger will be the fund that will be shared with my state, right? So this is what income distance is. How far is the development levels of that state? This also is a factor which determines how much money will be received, and obviously the poorer states will receive larger share of money and the richer states will receive less amount of share of money. Okay, so this is the formula that is fixed by the Finance Commission. Now, in addition to devolution of taxes, also Finance Commission also determines various different form of money sharing. It sets the principle that should govern grant in aids which is distributed to state government by central government, particularly for the purpose of tribal welfare. And this is given as per the provisions of Article 275 of the Constitution. You understand, grant in aid, this is not given as a loan, this is given as a donation to these states, right? And this is given out of Consolidated Fund of India. Similarly, Finance Commission also decides on what measures you need to take so as to improve the consolidated fund of a particular state, which allows that state government to give out finances for its Panchayati Raj institutions and urban local bodies on the basis of recommendation made by the State Finance Commission of that particular state. So, Finance Commission of India also recommends certain measures so that states can improve devolution of resources to urban local bodies and Panchayati Raj institution. And it also refers to any other matter referred to it by the President of India in interest of sound financing. So for example, in 15th Finance Commission, the 15th Finance Commission, as per the reference set by President of India known as terms of reference, it also considered how much amount of money should union government use for defense expenditure purposes after they have done with sharing of taxes with state governments. So this is how, on reference of Prime Minister, they can also decide on other matters. These matters, these are given in the Constitution. Any other matter can also be referred to it if the President warrants it necessary, right? So this is the entire function of Finance Minister. Now you understand? Any doubt? Now once Finance Commission is done with its report, it submits this report to President of India, and President of India lays these report in the House of Parliament, both houses, along with what is the explanatory memorandum on what kind of action it has taken on the report. Why it needs to submit it an explanatory note also? Because this is a constitutional body. So President, if it does not follow any recommendation of the Finance Commission, it will have to explain it to both houses of the Parliament with reasons why it did not follow any recommendation of Finance Commission. And this brings to another important part, that is, recommendation made by Finance Minister is not binding on the government because they are advisory in nature, right? So therefore not binding on the government. Therefore it is up to the union government whether it wants to follow recommendation given by Finance Commission or not. But in case if it doesn't follow the recommendation, it needs to explain this to both houses of Parliament in writing with reasons, right? So this is the how Finance Commission functions. Now if you have understood the topic, let's see how many of you are able to solve this PYQ of 2023. For horizontal tax devolution, now you must understand the term horizontal tax devolution. I've already understood it. 15th Finance Commission used how many of these above criteria other than population, area and income distance? This should be this. Well, I told you the mnemonic, Pakistan Air Force, India destroyed them very badly, by the way. So demographic performance here, forest in ecology here, government reforms nowhere mentioned, stable government nowhere mentioned, tax and fiscal efforts here. So these three are correct. P, A, I are already there in the question. So only 3, option B is the right answer. Okay. Now another question that appeared in 2025, this year itself. This is a very easy question. You can eliminate by solving just one of these statements also. Yes, second statement is wrong. It was not 45%, it was 41%. In 14th Finance Commission, it said that please share 42% of total net proceeds with states. But between 14th and 15th Finance Commission, one thing changed, that is erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated into 2 union territories. So 15th Finance Commission says that as you have one state less now, therefore, you only need to share 41% of total net proceeds. But 16th Finance Commission hasn't still come up with the figure. It is still consulting various stakeholders. So, by eliminating second, you could have easily solved this question. That is, C option is the right answer. Rest 3, by the way, are correct. I am not going into detail because 15th ab purana ho gaya hai. Now moving to the next article, this I have taken from the website of Indian Express, and it says government plans to wind down national polio surveillance network across India. Now polio, when it was prevalent in India or in any part of the country or any country for that matter, they needed to conduct frequent surveillance. For example, during COVID-19 pandemic also government was conducting surveillance by taking random samples from people. Similarly, for polio also, what government did, that they surveilled various sewages in different parts of the country so as to ascertain whether polio virus is present in the sewage, because polio essentially develops in your gut system and therefore it exits your body through the time when you use washroom, right? So this is one of the basic criteria how you survey for polio. But now since polio has been eradicated for a long time, government has decided to wind down this surveillance network because the money is not being utilized properly. You can use that same amount of money for different disease now, right? So this is the context of our today's discussion. The government has proposed to close in phases the World Health Organization's established National Polio Surveillance Network, currently a countrywide network of 200 units currently. But experts in the field, they have commented that this move would be premature and ill-advised at this stage, with India's neighboring countries still harboring cases of polio. So which of the India neighboring countries are harboring polio? I will let you know, need not worry. First, let us understand few details about the polio disease. This is a viral infectious disease which obviously is caused by a virus, and this multiplies in your digestive system, particularly in the intestine, and the effect of this virus is affected in the nervous system of human beings. The transmission of this virus can happen from person to person, mainly through fecal oral route, and the effects of this disease almost invariably affect the children under 5 years of age. And the symptoms of this disease, they occur in form of permanent loss of muscle function. So people who have polio, they aren't able to walk properly or function their muscle properly like normal people, right? Now, what you need to understand, even today, there is no cure available for polio, and the best way to prevent polio is through immunization. So, therefore, immunization is very important. Now, in terms of various variants of this polio, there are 3 individual variants who are immunologically distinct. Wild poliovirus type 2 and wild poliovirus type 3 have been eradicated worldwide, whereas wild poliovirus type 1, they are eradicated in India, but they are present in 2 countries, Afghanistan as well as Pakistan, which is our favorite neighbor, right? So these 2 countries still has cases for wildlife polio virus 1. Therefore, the experts have said that when your neighboring countries have polio virus, it is not wise to wind up the surveillance network. Now, symptomatically, all three polio viruses are identical, so you'll witness similar symptoms in all these 3 cases. But in terms of genetic and virological difference, there are significant virological difference, and therefore you have to eradicate them individually. Therefore, 2 have been eradicated, whereas the first hasn't been eradicated right now. Now, the best form of prevention of this disease, I told you, are vaccines, and there are 2 types of vaccines available. The most common form, which you may have heard, Do Boon Zindagi Kya famous ad by Amitabh Bachchan, it is a oral poliovirus vaccine which is administered to children in form of these droplets, right? So this is containing live but weakened virus, that is called as attenuated virus, much similar to the Covishield vaccine that we got. And the benefit of this vaccine is that it is very easy to administer. You don't need to train your healthcare professionals so significantly. Even you can administer 2 drops of these vaccines to any patient, and also this also incurs very less cost to the government, and it is used in mass immunization campaigns because of this very benefit, that is easy to administer, easy to train, and low cost. Similarly, it induces strong intestinal immunity which helps or which stops in transmission of this disease. But this vaccine comes up with a very strong caveat that there is a rare risk of vaccine derived poliovirus because this does not contain dead but rather live virus strains. So there is a chance that this virus strains can mutate into a much larger or a much potent poliovirus, right? So there is a very remote possibility, but theoretically, yes, there is a possibility of vaccine derived poliovirus also. So to deal with this vaccine derived poliovirus, we have come up with inactivated polio vaccine, which is given in form of injection into the muscle, and this is made from not attenuated but killed poliovirus strain of all these 3 types. And the benefit of this vaccine is that it is safe for immunocompromised individuals because the symptoms that you get after taking this vaccine is not as severe as the drop wala poliovirus, and it provides a very strong immunity in individual, but it is less effective at stopping transmission as compared to the oral polio vaccine. So both of these vaccines have their benefits and have their shortcomings. I hope you understand the basic difference. Oral wala does not contain a killed virus, but it contains a inactivated virus, whereas inactivated poliovirus vaccine, as the name itself suggests, it contains killed virus strains, not live virus strains. Okay. Now about National Polio Surveillance Network. This is a collaboration between Government of India and WHO, and it was established in 1997 with an objective to implement a sensitive surveillance system for polio virus, which played a very pivotal role in India's journey towards eradicating polio virus. And India was able to eliminate polio virus from 2011, that India reported its last case of wild polio virus in 2011 and made a significant turning point in the history of India. And it received the polio free certification after 3 consecutive years of no cases showing up in India from WHO, which declared India polio free officially in 2014. Now the regional achievement of polio virus is that the success has contributed to WHO Southeast Asia region. Now this entire region is certified polio free in 2014. But I told you polio virus is still prevalent in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and polio cases globally, they have dropped over 99% from the launch of global polio eradication initiative in 1998. It was 3.5 lakh then, now it is under 10,000 cases globally. Now India's strategy that it used both oral polio vaccine and inactivated polio vaccine, and OPV was preferred for mass use due to its ease and the immunity that it provides in your intestines, right? So this is what all you needed to know about the polio virus. Now let's see how many of you are able to solve this particular question. Well, this is incorrect. It is not transmitted through respiratory route. It is only transmitted through fecal oral route. And it was world was not declared polio free. World still has polio because Afghanistan and Pakistan has polio, right? So both statements are incorrect. Option D is the right answer. Only Reshma have gotten this right. Tony Stark also, Kanchan and Lydia, they have gotten it right. Rest of you, please try to read the statements again. World was not declared polio free in 2014. India was declared polio free. Now the Pratigya evening batch, which we are undertaking right now admissions to it, this is a foundation batch where teachings are provided for science and technology, for polity, economy and all the relevant subjects including polity, including geography, including history, right? There you also have the benefit of getting both prelims and mains test series. So to take admissions in these batches, what you need to do right now, go to our website. Once you go to our website, you will be needing to create an account here by simply logging in with your mobile number. Once you're done with logging in, click on explore courses here. When you click on explore courses, the upper tile shows you the language you want to take your teachings in and click on UPSC IS English, right? Once you click on UPSC IS English, the left tile here is the tile that you need to click to take admission in the foundation courses or the Pratigya batches. Now, to take admissions, right now the site says that you are required to pay 37,999, but I'll tell you a way where you can get discounts even on this amount, right? Click on buy now. Once you click on buy now, on the right there's an option to add promo code. Here you need to write ATS live, which is the code flashing on the bottom half of your screen, right? So on the left, try to enter or write ATS live. Once you're done with writing ATS live, click on apply. As soon as you click on apply, see the discount of 7,000 rupees is applicable, and the diamond course is now offered at 30,999. Platinum is at 27,500. Gold is at 16,999. The benefits of it: you get live classes, you get lecture notes, you get one-to-one mentorship, and also if you clear prelims, you are going to get mains residential program. And even before prelims, if you perform well, you will be brought to Delhi, and all of your expenses will be taken care of by StudyIQ, right? So these are the benefits of diamond batches. The best one is diamond batches because you get all the benefits of StudyIQ platform, right? But do not forget to apply the code ATS live because it will save 7,000 of your hard-earned or your parents' hard-earned money. So therefore I was saying diamond batch has all the benefits, whereas some are not available in both gold and platinum. Take admissions, whatever suits you the best, right? Now moving on to the next article. This article basically talks about hydrology of Brahmaputra. Why it is talking about hydrology of Brahmaputra? Because Pakistani official, after getting irritated as India has put Indus Water Treaty into abeyance, which means in future India can decide to stop share all the waters of Indus or its tributaries with Pakistan, right? So irritated by this fact, Pakistani official has made a comment, what if China treats you the same way? That means, what if China decides to stop flow of waters into the river of Brahmaputra, which flows into northeastern part of the country. Now, is it possible? Well, highlighting this or reacting to this comment, the Assam Chief Minister, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, has pointed out that 65 to 75% of Brahmaputra's flow is generated in India itself. So, it won't be possible, or it won't put India into danger if China decides to stop flow of river water from Brahmaputra. And also, if China were to reduce the flow of river water into India, it will actually benefit India because it will mitigate the annual floods that happen in Assam every year, right? So, before understanding the hydrological or hydrology of Brahmaputra, we need to understand few facts about Brahmaputra river first, right? Then it will make all sense. First, let us understand Brahmaputra. Now, Brahmaputra river, it originates in Tibet, particularly in the Chamyangdong glacier located in Kailash mountain. Yes, Kailash mountain is the same mountain where you take pilgrimage for Kailash Mansarovar, right? Now, there, when it is originating in Tibet, it is known as Yarlung Sangpo, right? Now, once it is originating in the Chamyangdong glacier here, it flows eastward in Tibet, and while flowing eastward, it makes a great U-turn known as Great Bend in Namcha Barwa region, and after making the U-turn, it enters India into the state of Arunachal Pradesh, right? After entering into Arunachal Pradesh, it flows for some time and then it enters into Assam, where it travels for 750 kilometers before entering into Bangladesh and subsequently draining into Bay of Bengal, right? Now, let us understand important tributaries that are meeting Brahmaputra in various states that is flowing through India, right? Now, I told you it emerges in Tibet as a turbulent and dynamic river after carving out a deep gorge in the central Himalayan near Namcha Barwa region, where it makes a great U-turn, and it enters India in Geling region of Arunachal Pradesh, where it is called as River Siang. It is not called as Brahmaputra when it is entering into India. After entering into India in Arunachal Pradesh, it flows southwest, and there it is received by two important left bank tributaries, that is Dibang, also known as Sekang, and Lohit river. And after combination of Siang with Dibang and Lohit river, this river now comes to know as Brahmaputra river, right? And this was all when it is flowing into the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, from Arunachal Pradesh, it enters into the state of Assam, where it is received by various other tributaries in its 750-kilometer long journey through Assam's valley. Here, the left bank tributaries of Budhi Dihing and Dhansari are entering and merging with Siang river and Brahmaputra river. Similarly, important right bank tributaries like Subansiri, Kameng and Manas and Sankosh, they are also entering into Brahmaputra. Now, here Subansiri is a very important river. It is an example of antecedent river. What is an antecedent river? Antecedent river is the one that stays on its original course despite the changes in topography. So, it means if a river encounters, an antecedent river encounters a mountain range, it will carve out a valley for itself so that it can maintain its flow, right? So, Subansiri is an antecedent river. Please remember it. Now, Brahmaputra, after traveling 750 kilometers into state of Assam, then it enters into the country of Bangladesh near Dhubri region, and when it enters into Bangladesh, it flows southward, and in Bangladesh, Teesta river joins it on its right bank, where it is called as Jamuna after Teesta joins Brahmaputra river, and it finally merges with river Padma subsequently into Bangladesh before draining into Bay of Bengal, like many other river systems in the Indian subcontinent, like Ganga, etc., right? So, it finally drains into Bay of Bengal, and in Bangladesh, it is called as Jamuna river, J wala Jamuna, okay? Now, let us understand other factors about Brahmaputra. Now, in India, particularly northeastern regions and particularly in Assam, Brahmaputra is known for its floods, channel shifting and bank erosion. So, yesterday we were dealing with the Kaziranga National Park. I told you one of the reasons of flooding of Kaziranga National Park every year is the erosion that has happened due to mining activities, and that is why Supreme Court has banned it, right? And this was also due to flow of river water Brahmaputra. Now, flooding happens in Assam in Brahmaputra river, particularly because of most of its tributaries which are supplying waters to Brahmaputra, they are quite large and they are filled with brim with waters and sediments during monsoon season due to heavy rainfall in the catchment area of the Brahmaputra, particularly in the northeast region. So here, what are the impacts of Chinese project? What are the Chinese projects in news that may impact, that become important? So let us understand one by one these important Chinese projects. Now, all the projects that are being constructed by China right now, they are being actively monitored by India. Now, most of these Chinese projects, they are intended to generate hydropower electricity and not intending to store large volumes of water. And all these projects, majorly, they are located far upstream or far ahead into the Tibet region, very away from the border area of India. Therefore, its impact downstream in the Indian states of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam will be quite minimal. But a major cause of concern is a Chinese hydropower project known as Medog hydropower project, which it is constructing very near to its Indian borders, that is in the place near Great Bend where it enters India, right? And this hydropower project, it is world's largest hydropower project, expected to generate 60,000 megawatts of electricity, and in terms of its capacity, it is 3 times larger than the world's largest hydropower project currently also in China, known as Three Gorges Dam. Now, what it is expected that this project also will likely to be a runoff river project with very little amount of water storage capacity, and therefore it may limit large scale manipulation of water, but still it possesses ecological and strategic concerns for India. What are ecological and strategic concerns for India? I will tell you later on in this discussion only, right? Now, what you need to understand, another project of China is known as South-North Water Diversion Project, particularly the western part of this project. Now, this is a long-term project intended to divert water from water-rich southern part of the China, that is in Tibet Plateau, to water scarce region that is located in north and northwest part of China. So, water is basically transferred from water surplus basin to water deficit basin, and the western route of this project is of big concern for India. Why? Because it involves tapping of Yarlung Tsangpo waters and transferring them into north and northwestern part of China. Now, India is concerned about this project naturally, but there is no official confirmation from Chinese side, nor is a detailed study or designs publicly available. Why isn't it publicly available? Because China, unlike India, is not a democratic country. It can withheld certain sensitive information even in public domain because it is an autocratic regime, right? So these are the projects that is being monitored by India. But what you need to understand, that the water that is flowing through Brahmaputra, particularly in India, it is generated mostly in India. Although the water basin of Brahmaputra river, the majority of it lies in China and only 34.2% of the basin area of Brahmaputra is located in India. But even this minor share of basin area, it is contributing more than 80% to the water which is flowing in Brahmaputra river. And there are two reasons for it particularly. First is the rainfall that is occurring in Indian part. Now, Tibetan Plateau particularly is a very minor contributor to the water flowing through Brahmaputra because it is a region with scanty rainfall, averaging only about 300 mm annually. And on the other half, India, particularly the southern part of the river basin of Brahmaputra located in states of Assam, they are witnessing an average of 2371 mm rainfall, and the least amount of rainfall witnessed in this year or in this area is about 1200 mm, which is 4 times the number of average rainfall occurring in Tibet, right? So that is why first factor is the plenty amount of rainfall in Indian side that is contributing to the water flowing in the river Brahmaputra. And the second reason is the amount of tributaries and the water flowing through these tributaries which are contributing to the flow of river water in Brahmaputra. Because Brahmaputra receives a number of tributaries in both northern and southern banks, as I've told you, both left and right bank tributaries, and the yield of this river system is increased significantly by these tributaries as annual monsoons which happen in the region from June to September, they contribute to water in these tributaries. And many of these Brahmaputra tributaries not just receives water from rainfall, but they also receive water from snow melting in the region, particularly in the upper reaches of Arunachal Pradesh. So therefore, it provides significantly to the large amount of waters in the Brahmaputra river system. So I told you the two reasons of plenty rivers water in the Brahmaputra is rainfall and its tributaries, right? So because of these two factors, that is tributaries and monsoon rainfall, there is expected to be a no significant impact on overall flow of river water into India, even if Pakistan or China decide to stop these water flow. But there are some local and seasonal vulnerabilities that India may still face. First of all, to generate any hydropower, you need a constant flow of water. But if during the lean water flow seasons, that is non-monsoon season, if upstream intervention in China, they decide to stop or use some of these waters to generate hydropower electricity, it will impact the flow of water into Indian side. And particularly, this will be a cause of concern for hydropower projects that will be constructed in Arunachal, because they depend on water which is flowing into India from Yarlung Sangpo into Siang River, right? So this is one of the key concerns. Another concern that might impact India is the risk of flooding that may happen due to intentional or unintentional operation of reservoirs in Tibet, right? So if the water is prevented from being flown into India, there is a large storage of water, and due to increased rainfall, there is no other option but to release the floodgates. It will eventually lead to flooding in northeastern part of the country in some cases. Similarly, many unforeseen events, both man-made and natural, can happen. There is a very good evidence that once you construct big hydropower projects in an ecologically sensitive area, the amount of landslides and earthquakes, they increase. So this is a natural reason that may impact the region. All similarly, it may lead to dam failure. What if there is a dam failure in the Chinese part? It may lead to flooding in India also. Also, there are many upstream interventions that have a potential to impact the flow of water into the river Brahmaputra, impacting the overall health of its flora and fauna. So these are the slew of events that may happen, although the probability of these events of happening is quite low, but it still may happen, right? Now, what is the importance of Brahmaputra river for India? As per the estimates done by Central Water Commission and ISRO, particularly Brahmaputra Basin Atlas, it says that Brahmaputra and its tributaries in togetherness, they contribute more than 30% of country's water resource potential and about 41% of total hydropower potential. However, India's ability to tap these hydropower coming or using the waters of Brahmaputra is quite limited, and only in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, there are significant hydropower projects that use these potential, and the utilization of the potential of hydropower has been slow due to difficulties the administration have faced due to issues of land acquisition and concerns over submergence of forest lands. Therefore, the protest that we are seeing happening in the state of Arunachal Pradesh regarding the Siang Upper multi-purpose river project also is one of the testament to this problem. Now, India, although it plans to store certain river waters in Brahmaputra system to absorb the variation in the flow and maintain a constant flow of river water in India, one of the key examples is the Siang Upper multipurpose project, which is a proposed hydropower generation project which will generate approximately 11,000 megawatts of electricity every year. And this will not just generate power, but it will also have a significant storage capacity that will act as a buffer against the variation in flows which may occur from Chinese side. Another factor that may lead India to use these waters effectively is the National Water Development Authority's proposed projects of two river linking projects which will connect Brahmaputra and its tributaries to Ganga Basin with an aim of transferring surplus river water into the water scarce or water deficit region. And the two projects are Manas Sankosh Teesta Ganga link, which joins Manas, which is a tributary of Tibet, to Ganga via Sankosh and Teesta rivers, whereas Jogi Ghopa Teesta and Faraka link, it joins Brahmaputra at the planned Jogi Ghopa barrage with the Faraka barrage constructed in the state of West Bengal on the Ganga river. So these are the two projects. The Siang Upper multipurpose project, it will control the flow of waters into India, and these two river linking projects, it will transfer surplus water in the Brahmaputra region to water scarce region in the Ganga region, right? So this will help alleviate the concerns of increased water flow. It will help alleviate the concerns of flooding which may happen due to Chinese project. So all in all, India is well placed to tackle any of the efforts that may happen even from Chinese side. But even after that, India needs to do something else. First of all, India needs to keep assessing the effects by conducting a detailed multidisciplinary scientific studies and prepare an adaptive strategy. And for that study, India needs to seek detailed hydrological and project related data from Chinese side. And for that, India needs to use its diplomatic avenues and channels. Similarly, India should work with China to develop a comprehensive data sharing protocols so that in case of increased water flows in the Chinese side, they can advance or provide warnings to India for any impending disaster, and it will give India the sufficient time to prepare and mitigate such disasters from happen. So this is all from my side. The question which appeared in 2016, I'll want each and every one of you to solve this. Don't worry, I have other articles to cover also. I'm not ending the discussion right now. Yes, all of you are right. I have already told you the important tributaries of Brahmaputra. So option D is the right answer. Now moving to the next article. Give me a second. I'll just have water. Yeah, moving to the next article. This is actually from 2 days before. I had missed out on this article, but after reading the newspaper again, I thought this was an important article, so you shouldn't miss out on it. It says a company called as Garden Reach Shipbuilders, it has signed a pact with a Norway firm to build India's first polar research vehicle. Now, GRSC basically is a Kolkata-based shipbuilder belonging to Indian government, and it signed an MOU with Norwegian firm Kongsberg to co-design and build India's first ever polar research vehicle indigenously. So what is a polar research vehicle? Polar research vehicle basically is a ship which is designed to carry out scientific research experiments in extreme polar environments, both in Arctic and Antarctic region. And these ships are engineered to navigate through sea ice and withstand high polar, very severe polar conditions. It serves as a mobile research platform which are equipped with advanced laboratories and scientific instruments, and it enables a multidisciplinary study like glaciology, oceanography, meteorology, marine biology and climate sciences. So basically this is a research ship that can navigate in extreme climates of polar region. Now, currently, India is operating 3 stations in polar region, Bharati and Maitri in Antarctica and Himadri in Arctic. But to supply or to send scientists to these regions, India has actually chartered a vessel belonging to Russia known as MV Vasily Golovnin. Now, this is a chartered vessel from Russia and it is supplying to Indian missions in Antarctic region. So India currently does not have a ship of its own. So therefore this development becomes quite significant. First of all, it strengthens India's shipbuilding ecosystem and aligns with the objectives of Indian government, that is Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat. It creates a dedicated polar research vehicle or vessel which allows India to be self-reliant in accessing these stations, that is in both Arctic and Antarctic, and it reduces our dependence on foreign chartered vessels. Similarly, polar regions are very climate sensitive hotspot, and going forward as the impact of climate change is going to increase, we need to understand what are the changes happening in polar region, and for that we are going to send increased amount of scientists to the region and therefore help monitor climate change impact, study polar biodiversity and marine ecosystems, and enhance oceanographic research and global climatic models. Similarly, there is an interest particularly in using the Arctic Channel to use for commercial ships, and it positions India as a responsible global stakeholder in both governance of Arctic and Antarctic region. Further, it will catalyze investment, innovation and employment in India's maritime and shipbuilding capacity under Sagar and Mahasagar initiatives of government, right? So these are the significant developments. Now, let's see how many of you are able to solve this PYQ of 2022. Which of this following best describes the word polar code? नहीं पता तो तुक्का मार रहे हो ना. सी, you are just marking it right. Well, actual answer is option A, not C. That's why I put this question. Now, the last article of the day, it says that S. Mahendra Dev has been appointed as the new chief of EAC-PM. What is EAC-PM? We'll discuss it. Now, economist S. Mahendra Dev has been appointed as the chairman of Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister of India. And Dev, who has been an independent director on board of Axis Bank, he had to resign from his office because this position of chairperson of EAC-PM is a permanent position. And currently, Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Suman Berry was acting as the head of EAC-PM, right? So, in this regard, EAC-PM becomes important. Now, EAC-PM is a body constituted to give advice on economic and related issues to Government of India, especially to Prime Minister of India. And the nature of this body, it is not a constitutional body, it is not a statutory body, nor it is a permanent body. Rather, it is an independent body functioning under Prime Minister's office. Now, the membership, it includes chairperson and several full-time and part-time members, right? Now, the purpose of this body or the terms of reference of EAC-PM is that it analyzes any issue, economic or otherwise, if it is referred to them by Prime Minister of India. It addresses issues of macroeconomic importance and prescribes views to Prime Minister of India, and this could be either on their own or on the references made by Prime Minister. Similarly, it attends to any other task as may be desired by Prime Minister from time to time. So, this is the term of reference of EAC. This is not a statutory body, this is not a constitutional body, nor it is a permanent body. Rather, it is an independent body functioning under the PMO. Now, let's see how many of you are able to solve this question. Well, it is not a statutory body, so incorrect. The body can present its views on addressing macroeconomic importance issues only on reference of Prime Minister. What did I tell you? It can consider matter on reference of Prime Minister, it can consider on its own also, which means suo motu, right? So, second also incorrect. Therefore, option D is your right answer. Okay? So, this brings an end to our today's session. The notes of this session will be available on the channel ATS Live. So, go and download it. We'll probably see each other again on Monday because tomorrow is a holiday here, right? So, I'll see you again on Monday. Please have a very good weekend. And for those who are celebrating Eid, please have a very happy and Eid Mubarak to you all. Okay?